Today we're doing an unboxing and hands-on with the AT&T Nokia Lumia 830. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Daniel Rubino here, Windows Central, and we're going to do a quick unboxing here of the Nokia Lumia 830 on AT&T. Now I've already done an 830 sort of unboxing and quick tour, but I want to show you the AT&T version because it comes in this ridiculously big box, which a lot of them don't even know that they have in the back because it's so, it doesn't fit in their norm. Anyway, so the reason it comes like this, the Lumia 830, which just went on sale on Friday, is because, well, let's open it up, you get a free Fitbit Flex with it. And they do a great little presentation there where they put both in the box. You can see this wasn't really a last minute decision either, that they clearly made this for to be sold. I don't know how long they're going to be selling the Flex with the Lumia 830, but you know, probably a few weeks at least. So that's a $99 fitness band that comes in this cool little box here, and you know, comes for free with the Lumia 830. Whether you buy it on contract or in full, it doesn't matter, you get the band included as well. I used to use the Flex quite a bit. It's a great little device. It's probably not as awesome as my Microsoft band, of course, but this is only a $99 item, and it's a great introduction to the tracking, you know, of fitness stuff if you're into that. And of course, Windows now has a great app for Windows Phone and Windows as well. So I just want to show you what that looks like, but it's very cool. I'm probably going to actually give that away on the site, so I'll probably do a contest. So pay attention to Windows Central for when that happens, because I actually use a Force and a Flex, so I don't need that any longer. But let's take a look here at the Lumia 830 itself. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So nothing fancy with the box. You still got AT&T's, you know, orange and white logo, nothing fancy there. But this device is pretty unique. Let's see, we get our little guide here, and here's the phone itself. It comes in your plastic bag with everything involved. So what makes this Lumia 830, of course, unique is the gunmetal gray color, as you can see there. It matches very much the Lumia 925 that AT&T also has, or used to have. And it comes with that black back as well, along with the 10 megapixel pure view camera. And there's that display, very light. Of course, there's no battery in it right now, but there's a few surprises here that I'd like to show you. So let's open it up. And nothing fancy, your product safety information, but this is kind of cool. So you get a second back cover, since they're removable, with the Lumia 830 and the AT&T, and it comes in this bold green color, which I think, at least from the photos that I've seen, looks absolutely fantastic with the black. It just contrasts very well. But the real secret is that, right? So this has Qi wireless on board. You can see it right there. And that's where it makes contacts with. It's actually supposed to be a PMA/Qi wireless. So this will work with any wireless system in the world, basically. But the real important thing is Qi, because Qi is the one that actually has all the cool accessories. And if you already have them, this will work as well. And then the back plate for the black color, the black back plate, I should say, also has the Qi wireless built in. So you can swap them at will and pick your color. Pretty great. Other than that, you got your little wall wart here for charging, USB as well. Nothing unusual there. And then you got your charge cable, and of course the battery, which I believe is a 2200 milliamp. Yes, it is. And so it gives you pretty decent battery life. So what I'm going to do now is I'll pause the video here, and then I'm going to boot up the phone, and we'll just give you a quick tour of the OS, and we'll take a little hardware tour of the Lumia 830 now on AT&T as well. Okay, before I boot up the phone here, I just want to quickly show you the back, because people always are interested when you peel the back cover off. So, you know, here's the cover itself. I'll clip it on. I'll show you how that works in a second. But you got your micro SIM goes there, or sorry, nano SIM. So in case you need to switch, it takes a nano SIM. So that goes into that slot there. And there is where your micro SD card goes. So this comes with 16 gigs of internal storage, but you can put up to 128 gigs of storage on there as well. And you can install your apps and games. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, that's actually really neat. So why that looks like that, that's the actual back of the board for the controller, which is pretty neat. So that's, the electronics are all on the other side. You can tell how thin they make these devices now by doing that. So there is almost no separation there. Definitely a cool design. So pop in the battery here, and then we're just going to clip on the back. And what's really neat about this design, I think, is it makes the Lumia 830 feel like a unibody phone but you get these removable backs, which are all wireless, and you can even swap them out for different colors, and they just clip in, and that's it. It's sort of very much like a Samsung phone where, but you gotta make sure each one is clipped in there, and now it is. But once it's clipped on, it definitely feels great. You can't really tell it's a removable cover. You peel it off by this little slot here for your fingernail, so pretty easy. And that's the only logo there for AT&T. Other than that, it's a pretty clean device. So now I'm going to let this boot up, and we'll go in there and give you a software tour of this phone. While that's actually booting up, I'm going to just talk about the hardware itself. So like I said, 10 megapixel pure view optical image stabilization camera. It's pretty decent. I've used the 830 for a while, at least the unlocked one, and the camera is good. It's not amazing, but for what this phone is, which is a mid-range affordable flagship type, it's actually pretty decent. You have your single LED flash as well. Good stuff. There's your speaker. It's on the curved edge, so when you lay down the phone, it will clear the speaker, which is really good. I enjoy the black color a lot. I think it looks really good. To contrast that here, this is the unlocked Lumia 830, and you can see it's got that this more silver color with the orange back, and so definitely a different look there. But I think the green and black looks pretty solid. So, but you know, hopefully you'll like it too if you're thinking about getting this phone. Let me just unlock the password. And there you go. So there's the OS as it boots up. And so going to the top here, 3.5mm headset jack, micro USB for charging. Of course, it's a little awkward because it's on top, and a lot of people don't like that, but seeing as this has wireless charging built in, it's sort of a moot point. You can get a wireless car charger, which is fantastic because it really gets rid of all those wires, and you can just throw this in and clip it and it'll start charging. So I don't really mind the charger on top since it's used less with this device, assuming of course you have you know, wireless chargers around. You can see this cool design too. It's gunmetal gray, but you can see where the antenna marks are, and so you have that on the top and bottom. So if you're wondering what those are, that's what that is. Going to the side here, you got your volume controls, a little volume rocker. It's good. They don't stick out too much, but they're definitely, you can feel them without looking at the device, which is always important. Got your power button, and the most important one there, the dedicated camera button. So we're seeing less of these on Lumias, but that's only because they're on only pure view phones with the special cameras. If they don't have a pure view camera, you don't get the dedicated camera button. So just hold it down, instantly launches the camera, and you can see, you get a little familiar resuming stuff, but there goes the camera. And because it's only 10 megapixels, it's actually pretty fast. You can see how fast it saves there. Not as fast as I would say as an Android phone or you know, the iPhone, but overall pretty decent. You do get dedicated keys here at the bottom, so they're not software based, so that's good. I know a lot of people have issues with those. I don't mind the software keys, but for some people, they don't care for them. They do light up as well, but as I've mentioned before, they're very conservative, meaning you have to be in a, you know, a very dim room before they'll actually turn on. That's probably to save battery life. Other than that, you're talking about, like I said, 16 gigs internal storage, 1 gig of RAM, so you can run every app out there. And then you have a quad-core 1.2 gigahertz Snapdragon 400 processor, which is the same processor found in the Lumia 635 and Lumia 735, and it works well with the OS. Speaking of, let's go in there. You can see moving around here, everything is actually pretty quick, and launching stuff really has no issue. Now, it's not as fast, of course, as the Qualcomm 2.2 gigahertz quad-core processors like the Snapdragon 800 and 801 found in other Windows phones, but unless you're directly comparing them, I don't think there's an issue at all. Everything launches nice and quickly here, and so, you know, you got your photos and all that stuff, and I really don't have an issue with it. You can go to the store though and try them out. They do have these on display. For apps, it does come with a bunch of stuff pre-installed, including Amazon app, Amazon Kindle, which is interesting. I haven't seen those before. You got all your AT&T stuff. Of course, all this can be uninstalled from the operating system, so don't worry about, you know, so-called bloatware. It's more of an issue on Androids, but they don't store in ROM on this, which is really nice. Going down, of course, you got data sends to measure your data, Facebook built in, food and drink, games, health and fitness. So all the standard apps. This is kind of new, Keeper. It's a password management system. It's a universal app available on Windows and Windows Phone. I've never used it, but it comes you know, kind of built in here. Like I said, you can remove that as well if you don't want it, but it comes pre-installed, which is interesting because I haven't seen that before with AT&T. You got mixed radio, which is still being used and promoted, which is really great. Mobile TV, of course, your My AT&T. Now, some of these are just links to websites, so they're not that big of a deal, but overall pretty good. You got your Office and OneDrive involved there. Podcasts, sports, Skype is built in, and Weather Wallet, and of course the Yellow Pages. But like I said, if you don't want any of that stuff, you can remove it. Speaking of, let's go to storage. If I can find that. So in case you're curious, 16 gigs internal storage, but that actually works out to about 10 gigs of actual available space. Now, if I remove some of those apps, of course, I'll free up even more, but that'll give you a good baseline there. But like I said, throw in an SD card and you can go up to 128 gigs. So really cool stuff. Overall, the camera is pretty good. I've been taking photos with this just a few minutes ago, and you can see went out there and took some. It was a beautiful day out today. It's a good camera. You know, if you're in well-lit scenes, it works very well. For low light, it's decent. It's, I don't think the, best pure view out there, but as a, mid-range phone, it's actually performs very well. If you used Lumias before, you should be familiar. The screen itself is a 5-inch 720p, so not full HD, but it is HD-ish, I guess you could say. You do get clear black. You do get glance on there, so you have all of that, and of course double tap to wake, so which is really good. The clear black helps outside when you're to make those colors shine a little bit more, and it also has the polarizer to basically filter out the sunlight. This does also have sunlight readability, meaning it can jack up really bright if you go outside, so that's decent. I do recommend, if you get this phone, go down into display and click that here, and you can actually pick the color profile. Now by default it's going to be on standard, and standard looks fine, but it's a little bit washed for the colors, and so I think if you want a more dramatic look, you can go to vivid or cool, or if you do advanced, you can actually set it yourself. So I like vivid. It gives a little bit more of an AMOLED type look to the display. Some people actually don't like that though, so that's fine as well. But you can go and configure that yourself. So we'll be doing a little bit more in depth with this with the Lumia 830 for AT&T over the next few days. Head to Windows Central for more information and tell us what you think. Like I said, it goes for $99 on contract or $450 off, which is a little bit expensive, but no one here really buys phones off contracts. So I don't find it that big of a deal. And for a limited time, at least you'll get that Fitbit Flex for free, which is a $99 value. So it's actually a pretty good deal overall. But you tell us what you think. Head to Windows Central, and let us know. There you go. Take care, everybody.